Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasa tato jaya mudiraye nashta prayeshu avadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistuki. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading Canto 2, Chapter 2 and text number 32, which is one of the closing words of the methods, where Suta Goswami explaining it to the Parikshit Maharaj, about how one can get liberation by like either going after doing the Ashtanga Yoga. So after this, there are 3 or 4 shlokas left, which normally deals with the how ultimately the sadhana bhakti is the best. We will start from tomorrow's verse 33. So I will repeat this verse, text number 32, 3 times. Ete shrati te nartave dagite tvaya bhipraste cha sanatane cha yeve pura brahmana ahatushta आराधितो भगवान् वासुदेवः एते श्रुतिते नृपवेदगीते त्वया विप्रष्टे च सनातने च ये वै पुरा ब्राह्मण आहतुष्ट आराधितो भगवान् वासुदेवः. Please recite. Ete shruti te nrapaved gite tvaya vipraste cha sanatane cha eve pura brahmana ahatushta Aradhito Bhagavan Vasudeva. Anyone else want to say? Ete Shati Te Nrapaveta Gite Taya Vipraste Cha Sanatane Cha Yeve Pura Brahmana Ahatushta Aradhito Bhagavan Vasudeva. Ete Shrati Te Nrapaveta Gite Tvaya Vipraste Cha Sanatane Cha Yeve Pura Brahmana Hatushta Aradhito Bhagavan Vasudeva. Okay, so we will read word to word translation first. Ete, all that is described. Shrati, way. Te, unto you. Nrapa, O Maharaj Parikshit. Veda Gite, according to the version of Vedas. Tvaya, by your majesty. Abhipraste, being properly inquired. Cha, also, Sanatane, in the matter of eternal truth. Cha, verily, yea, which, way, certainly, pura, before, Brahmane, unto Lord Brahma, aha, said, Tushtaha, being satisfied, Araditaha, being worshipped, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, Lord Krishna. Translation. The Majesty, Maharaj, your Majesty, Maharaj Parikshit, know that all that I have described in reply to your proper inquiry is just according to the version of the Vedas, and it is eternal truth. This was described personally by Lord Krishna unto Brahma, in whom the Lord was satisfied upon being properly worshipped. Purport. The two different ways of reaching the spiritual sky and thereby getting emancipation from all material bondage, namely either the direct process of reaching the kingdom of God or the gradual process through the other higher planets of the universe, are set forth exactly according to the version of the Veda. The Vedic version in this connection are Yada sarve pramuchante kama ye shya hradi shritaha atha maratyo mrato bhavati atra samasnute. Brahad Arnyak Upanishad 4.4.7. And Ter Chir Abhisma Bhavanti. Brahad Aranyak Upanishad 6.2.15. Those who are free from all material desires, which are diseases of the heart, are able to conquer death and enter the kingdom of the God through the archiplanets. These Vedic versions corroborate the version of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the latter is further confirmed by Shukadeva Goswami, who confirmed that truth was disclosed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, Vasudeva, to Brahma, the first authority on the Vedas. The disciplic succession holds that the Vedas are uttered by Lord Krishna to Brahma, by Brahma to Narad, and by Narad to Vyasadeva, and then by Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami, and so on. So there is no difference between version up to all the authorities. The truth is eternal, and as such, there cannot be any new opinion about the truth. That is the way the knowledge, the knowing the knowledge contained in the Vedas. It is not a thing to be understood by one's erudite scholarship or by fashionable interpretation of mundane scholars. There is nothing to be added and nothing to be subtracted, because the truth is the truth. One has to accept, after all, some authority. The modern scientists are also authorities for the common man for some scientific truths. The common man follows the versions of the scientist. This means that the common man follows the authority. The Vedic knowledge is also received in that way. The common man cannot argue about what is beyond the sky or beyond the universe. He must accept the version of the Vedas as they are understood by the authorized disciplic succession. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the same process of understanding the Gita is stated in 4th chapter. If one does not follow the authoritative version of the acharyas, he will be verily search after the truth mentioned in the Vedas. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So this shlok, this verse is spoken by Sukdev Goswami, and Sukdev Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj that your majesty Maharaj Parikshit. So we can understand, how respectfully Sukdev Goswami is addressing to Maharaj Parikshit. He's saying, know that all that I have described in reply to your proper inquiry. So there was inquiry, as we know before, and Sukdev Goswami is asking, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukdev Goswami the question about, how people can get liberated and all about the liberation of the Ashtanga yogis, that discussion was going on. So to the version of the Veda. So he's saying that in the reply, I have replied you properly in accordance with the Vedas. And it is the eternal truth. So Sukdev Goswami is saying that the Vedas are the eternal truth. Vedas were spoken by Lord Krishna himself to Brahmaji, which is given in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So when Brahmaji was born, came from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. From Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the long tube stems goes up on the top, and in that stem, all the 14 planetary systems are within that stem. And the length of that stem is calculated by several authorities, and it's in some billions, between 2 and 4 billion mile long. You can imagine how big this stem may be. And above that, the Brahmaji, there is a lotus flower, and on the flower Brahmaji is sitting. So Brahmaji actually, when he was born from Garbhodaksha Vishnu, then he climbed up 2 to 4 billion miles. And then he came on the top of the lotus flower. But then he came on the top of lotus flower, but it was all dark, like pitch dark. And we know he could not see anything. And he didn't know why I am here and what I'm supposed to do. So he knew that his father is Lord Vishnu, which is there in the Garbhodak ocean. So he was just meditating there. He started meditating that what I should do. So he asked a question to Lord Vishnu, why I am here, So Lord Vishnu actually through the stem, he sent the message, tapa. So that means austerity to the tapasya. So he started doing the meditation on the Lord. So he meditated for several years. He tried to go back in the stem, but he could not find any way there, so he returned back on the lotus flower and sitting there, and he did tapasya there for a long time. And then he got the knowledge through the Lord. And that knowledge, actually, he imparted to Narada and all in the disciplic succession. That's why disciplic succession is very important, that the knowledge comes in. Nobody can manufacture knowledge. We see now, people who are not in the disciplic succession, they also wants to be called as gurus, Jagat gurus, all these things, they are not in any disciplic succession, but that should not happen, because knowledge actually goes through the disciplic succession only. It cannot go beyond that, so knowledge exactly should be whatever his guru says, he should say the same word, and then his guru, like in the parampara, it should go down like that. So it says here, direct process of reaching the kingdom of the God. So, actually, I was reading the translation. This was described personally by Lord Krishna to Brahma, with whom the Lord was satisfied upon being properly worshipped. So first Brahmaji actually worshipped Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu was fully satisfied with Brahmaji, and then he imparted knowledge to him later on. So this is the same knowledge which goes in the parampara. In the purport, Prabhupada is saying there are two different ways of reaching to spiritual sky, and thereby getting emancipation from the material bondage. So if we want to get out of this material bondage, because this material world, we are all suffering. Everyone knows that. Many people think, I'm enjoying, but this enjoyment is very temporary, flickering. Like somebody says, like holding on the tree, and on that same tree, there is some honeycomb and some drops of honey is coming. It's like that. So the person, opens his mouth, holds his tongue out, and he's just waiting for a drop of honey to come. It's that way the happiness comes, then again miseries. So this whole life is full of miseries actually, and we all go through those cycles. And within that period of miseries, there is some flickering happiness comes in between. So we all are suffering in this material world, and we should think about the Lord and try to obtain the permanent happiness. How we can get permanent happiness, which comes only by attending the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So that is the only way. So we all have to get out of the material bondage, namely either the death. So there are two processes given in this chapter actually, and this chapter mostly is, second chapter is mostly for the yogis actually. So those yogis, so one process is for the people who are less advanced, and one process is for the advanced devotees. So very nicely described actually in here. So I will go through first. So we are actually reading since verse 22 to 32, it is for the gradual liberation. So how the people, who are not too much advanced in the bhakti, they can get the gradual liberation. So those, and before that, from verse number 15 to 21, Shukdev Goswami explained about the practice and process of leaving the body for an advanced yogi. So how the advanced devotees, how they go to Krishna. So there are two ways. One is gradual process, of liberation. So they go slowly, but in the slow process, there is always problem that we can sometimes fall back, So those people, who wants a gradual liberation, they are still attached to this material world. They are not liberated people, they are still attached. And they actually still want to enjoy. So Lord sent them to the higher planetary system first, like Swargalok and then all those different planets, like Maharlok, Brahmalok, Satyalok, that. So this kind of loka, they go, and ultimately from there, they have to pierce the 7 layers of this circle around this universe. And after that, they can enter the spiritual world. So it's a very hard process, it's not very easy to go through. So if the yogi or practitioner, like devotee, still has desire to enjoy in the Brahmalok, sometimes people want to enjoy, first they go to Vaishnavana Loka, that is the planet of the deity of the fire. So in that fire, they go first, and then all their desires all burned. So they don't have any material desires, So they go to that loka first. And then second stop is Shushamara constellation. That means it is like a Milky Way. So in the Milky Way, they go. In Milky Way is like North Star, the Dhruva Loka. It is beyond, it is still in the material world, but that Dhruva Loka actually, Polyester, it doesn't get destroyed when Brahmaji's life finishes. At that time, also whole universe, all middle planetary, upper planetary, lower planetary, everything destroys, but the Polyester still stays there. So it is in between the spiritual world and the material world. So they go there, and so they are turning towards, from there, they can go to the spiritual world. So, and that Sushmara planet is actually related with Lord Hari. So actually this is Lord Hari's planet, because he gave to Dhruva Maharaj, and that planet is very good. Then third stop is Maharloka, where they get purification. Like many sages, like Bhrigu Muni, they do the tapasya there for many years actually. And so like for a Mahakalpa, like long time, whole kalpa, like they are Brahma. And then ultimately from there, Mahalok, they go to Brahmalok, also called Satyalok. So they go there, and there is in the Brahmalok, Brahmalok life, we know Brahmaji's life is how many? 3 trillion, 80 billion, 40 billion, something like this, So that's pretty long life. So there is no death actually. There is death, but after so many years, and there is no lamentation, no old age, people live so long there. There is no worry of the death like that. So when people, those yogis, reach to the Brahmalok, they have two choices there also. One choice, either they can live till Brahmaji lives, and then Brahmalok also destroys, Brahmaji dies. At that time, then they can go to the spiritual world, or if they want to go in between to the spiritual world, then they have to pierce these 7 layers of this universe. That there are different oceans, of the water and the salt and the milk and the butter, like that. And there are so many 7 different oceans, and then they go to spiritual world. So there are different process like that. And then after that, they can reach to the spiritual world, and then there they can serve the Lord. So this is the process for the gradual liberation for the people who are not that advanced, but they slowly, but it takes years and years to reach the spiritual world. Other practices for the advanced yogis, which are advanced. And so for them, they meditate on the Supreme Lord. So Paramatma is our super soul, which is seated in the heart of every jiva soul, including in the trees, everywhere, all the atoms, and even in between the atoms, the super soul is there. So they do the dhyana or the meditation on that super soul, and gradually, one after other, actually, they reach to the lotus feet gradually. Start from the lotus feet, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, and they gradually go up, and then they go to lotus face of the Lord. And by this, Krishna gives them intelligence, and gradually they get purified, and then they can go to supreme spiritual world. And for the people who are less advanced, for them, the process of Virat Roop, then they can meditate on the Virat Roop, and then slowly go up. So for advanced yogi, how they go? First thing, they have to start from the yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar. So these 5 things, they have to at least come to pratyahar stage. Then they can start their process going up, and up to pratyahar, they are doing, these people, they do the Bhakti Mishra yoga. Their yoga is Bhakti Mishra yoga. And people who are less advanced, their yoga is Karma Mishra yoga. So these two are for the advanced yogi and less advanced yogis. And after that, after Pratyahar, then they get the stage of Labdopashanti. They get the full bliss by the mercy of the Lord. And they use their mind and intelligence, their soul. Their soul is contaminated actually, because all the souls get contaminated because we live in this material world. Actually, if you see, the soul's condition is pure. Soul is pure actually, when Krishna gives us the soul to the jiva. Because soul is pure. But when we come to this material world, our soul starts getting contaminated. And 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer. So we have so many layers of contamination. And that's why it takes so much time to come in the pure bhakti. It takes time, actually. So it gets, to purify it, we have to use our intelligence properly. And intelligence should be purified. It's not like our mind, mind's job is the thinking, willing, feeling. The job of intelligence is to determine, if it is right or wrong, whether I should do it or not do it. The job of soul is the consciousness. We get the proper consciousness. So that's the job of the soul. So we have to completely get the satisfaction, supreme satisfaction. And how we can get supreme satisfaction? If we actually get a stage of suggestion of material life, we have to get out of material life. We have to get detached, completely detached of this material life. But many times we think, that I can get detached from the material life, but that's not that easy. First thing, we have to get attached. People can wait. Let me get purified. Let me wait. Let me get purified. Then I will start chanting, then they can wait all their life. They will never get purified. So first thing is we have to get attached to Krishna's lotus feet, and then detachment starts. If we attach to something, then we can leave something. Like to a child, if we give him nice laddu or something what he likes, then if he has knife in the hand, he will give. Otherwise, he will run with the knife, and he can harm himself. So that is the way, So we have to replace something. So replacement is our pure bhakti. If we have the devotion to the Lord and practice bhakti, then we can detach from the material world. So that is the only process, If you think that I can get detached, like let me give up my house, let me give up my wife, let me give up my child, let me go to some holy place and live there. You cannot live there because your bad mind, bad intentions are still within us. So even we go to holy place, we cannot meditate there properly. So we have to give up bad habits. First, we have to get attached. Then if you go to holy place, then we can definitely do proper bhakti there. Otherwise, it's very hard. So we have to give up the false ego. We have to give up all bad attachments, with all material things, and we should live very simply. And that way, ultimately, if we get bhakti, then we can reach to the Brahman realization. And after Brahman realization, then we have to avoid anything, which is not related to God. Godless things, we have to give up all godless things. And then we have to embrace the lotus feet of Krishna. And that is the only way we can progress. And then those yogis who go like that, then they go to different circles, chakras on our body. We have 7 chakras in our body, which is first one is the Muladhara chakra. Muladhara chakra is in the rectal area, where we pass the gas through that. And so that chakra, when we die at that time, what happens? Like if we pass our life air through that chakra, Muladhara chakra, then we go to lower planetary systems, Patal Lok, and we suffer there. But if a yogi, what he should do? He should take the life air from Muladhara chakra up there to the second chakra, which is Swadhinashta chakra, which is below the navel area. And from there, we can take the life air to in the abdomen here, which is known as Manipurak chakra. And from here, we can bring our life air to the heart. And that chakra is the Anahata chakra. And then we can bring it to the palate, in the mouth, upper palate, which known as Vishuddhi chakra. And from there, the yogis bring their life air to in between the eyebrows, and between that's known as Agya chakra. And from here, they can bring it to right on the top of the head, which is known as Brahma chakra. So these are the 7 chakras in our body. So what the yogi does from the Muladhara chakra, which is all the way at the bottom, bring it up to here. And if the life air goes from here, at that time we die, air goes from there, then we go to upper planetary system or Lord Krishna. So this is the way. So how people will think that I will go up, we have to have some kind of attraction of the spiritual world. So that's why Brahmaji actually told very nicely about description of the spiritual world. He said, Chinta mani prakarasatma sukalpa vraksha laksha vrateshu ravi palayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Vata Sevivanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So, and also in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Brahmana hi pratishtaham amratasya yashasya cha shasvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kanti karasya cha. So, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So people, the yogis want to go to Brahman actually. So Krishna says that I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. Brahman comes from me. And with that Brahman is immortal, imperishable, and eternal. And so, and the constitutionally, that Brahman is the ultimate happiness. So once we can reach to the Brahman stage, we can be really getting that ultimate happiness in our life. So this is the formula, this is the only way we can actually get the proper happiness in our life, and there will be no lamentation. And so we have to learn these things, because these things are very helpful to us in learning how a yogi, either by slow process or by fast process, can go to the supreme, to the spiritual world. And so the Ashtanga yogi, which wants to go to the supreme world, there is a nice chart which says that first they have to follow yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, and pratyahar. And after, if somebody is following pratyahar, then he should think himself that if I have desires, material desires to enjoy in material world or not. And if he has no desire, then for him, he should do his ashraya is the Paramatma. He should meditate on the Paramatma. But if he thinks, that I still have desires, material desires, then his Dharanashraya is Virat Rup. Then he should meditate on the Virat Rup. And in the Virat Rup, so in the Virat Rup, who meditates on Virat Rup? The person who is attached, is a attached yogi. So then if he has desires, then he will go through the different lokas, as we described, which is also known as Karma Mukti. So Veshwanara Lok, Shushmara Lok, Mahar Lok, Brahma Lok, then he will pass the 7 layers, which is like earth, water, fire, air, ether, those layers. And then he will pierce the false ego, layer of false ego, and pierces the Mahat Tattva. And then he will pierce the Pradhan. So after that, he will reach to the Supreme Lord. So after, but if suppose he has no desires, then he will meditate on the Paramatma, he will do the Dhyana, Samadhi, and then ultimately he will get the Brahman realization. And Brahman realization, then he will, as we described, he will do the Satchatra Yoga, and ultimately he will get liberated. So this liberation, when we say liberation means not going to spiritual world and serving the Lord. Liberation means merging in the Brahma Jyoti. So many people have the question, what is liberation? Actually, liberation means merging in the Brahma Jyoti, which is the effulgence of the body of the Lord. So, but there also in the Brahma Jyoti, we can live happily there, but we get bored because there is no service. So then those people, they say, I was better in the material world. At least I was doing something. Here I'm not doing anything. There is no meditation, nothing. So then ultimately they fall down to this material world again. So that's why all the time we should not worry about the Sayujya Mukti. We should get for the other kind of muktis, like living close to the Lord. And so there are 4 other muktis, and that so are having opulences like the Lord, so those kind of things. Savya Mukti is not good for the devotees. And after this, now we have like 3 or 4 verses after today's verse, which will actually say how one can establish sadhana bhakti is the best of the all path. So ultimately, what the yogis does, this doesn't help that much in our bhakti. So ultimately, Prabhupada and also Sukdev Goswami explained to Parikshit Maharaj that sadhana bhakti is the best actually. And that is the best of the all path, because this is the most auspicious path for those who are suffering in this material world. And as such, we all are suffering in this material world. Who is happy here? And so ultimately, by sadhana bhakti, we have to get the the stage of the prem with the Lord. So that thing takes really time. And before the prema, there are rati. Rati means, to the attachment to the Krishna. So that rati has to be there. Then we can get the bhava stage, and then bhava stage to prem stage. So these stages are very hard to get, because most of the devotee, most of us, we get stuck at the, like we cannot get rid of this material desires, material bondings. So we have to get out of this attachment to this material world, because we are so much attached, and then we cannot leave all our bad habits. So our bad habits, first we have to leave one by one, because we try to get one habit out and 10 other habits will come in. So this is the problem actually. So any path, which leads to attraction or rati is the stage, first stage of prem. So rati, bhav, and prem. So, and the love to the prem is the highest. And Lord Brahma determined that he studied all the Vedas 3 times, and then he gave knowledge to Narad Muni. So actually, that is the way that we have to learn how first we can hear ourselves. After hearing, we should meditate. And after meditate, we should give the same knowledge to other people. And keep meditating, then only we can give. If we don't read many, many times, then it will be very hard for us to give the knowledge properly to the other persons. And we have to see that all the jiva souls, all the jivas has the presence of the Lord in them. So we should respect them, and we should give them Krishna as much as we can, like the trees, like there are so many plants outside, we can offer them some water, which is like we offer to the Krishna, like many times we throw the water here, if we collect the water and give it to the plants, those jivas will get a lot of benefit of that water. So there are 3 mahabal, like pure, like things, which can purify the existence, one's existence. So which are the 3 balls which are given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that what is the name? One is the washed water from the feet, and padadhuli, the dust from the lotus feet, and then the bhakta bhukta avashesh, what the remnants of a pure devotee. If we take that, if we have the, like one time, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was going out of temple, and then at that he came, and then he saw that people are rolling the carpet and cleaning. So then one was brooming the floor, and there was some dust there, So that dust, Maharaj went, and then take that dust in his head. So people were surprising, that what Maharaj did. Maharaj said that so many devotees were standing on the carpet, and this is the dust from the carpet. So I got the blessing of all the devotees, Maharaj is so advanced, but still we can see. So that should be our mentality, because a pure devotee never thinks that I'm so elevated, why I should take the dust of the other people, who are so neophyte, but every devotee, who chants Krishna, Krishna is very happy with them. So we should actually not think ourselves. We should really think that I am the lowest. We can see many, many prayers, that I'm so low. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers or anything, that I'm so lowly. That should be the feeling, We should never think that I'm a great devotee. And 3 things, by the end of this chapter, we will learn that the hearing, chanting, and remembering of Krishna, these 3 things are most important things. They are the chief items of bhakti. And if we keep hearing and then chanting Krishna's name and remembering Krishna all the time, then our life is perfect actually. And that way we can actually serve the lotus feet properly. Otherwise, it will be very hard. So there are given, like we all do sadhana bhakti, because we are sadhakas. So sadhana bhakti, there are 2 benefits first thing is purify the polluted aim of the life. So whatever the polluted aim of life, in the polluted aim of life is enjoyment. That let me enjoy, let me enjoy, let me enjoy. We can try different things, So that mentality of enjoying mentality goes away by sadhana bhakti, and then we attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So those two things happens are the benefit of sadhana bhakti. So we should actually be very strong in our bhakti and try to perform bhakti as much as possible. And it can be done only if we chant properly in the morning, in the Brahma Muhurta time. If you get up in the Brahma Muhurta time, because in the daytime, after Brahma Muhurta, as soon as sun comes and then all the phone calls start coming and this thing, that thing, I have to, then we remember I have to go this thing, I have to go to job, so many different things, And then at that time, we cannot properly think. So that's why it's so much importance to do the japa in the Brahma Muhurta time. So if you can finish it by 6:30, that is the best thing. And while chanting also, we have to concentrate, because this whole chapter is how to get out of this material world, how we can reach the spiritual world, For a yogi, so we all are devotees, we all are yogis, we are transcendentalists, So we have to see how we can reach the ultimate goal. And remembering the goal is very important in our life. If we don't remember the goal, then we can go here and there. So if we remember the goal and act accordingly, then definitely we can reach it. But if we don't have goal, then what happens? Where we are nowhere actually, We will just go up and down, like this. What happens? We will not reach anywhere. But we even go slowly, slowly go, so we can go to our goal that way. So we should all the time evaluate at least once in a month or something, that how is my bhakti? How is my bhakti? If I'm doing any progress in my bhakti or not. And how is my attachment to the material world? If the attachment is getting down, that means, then my attachment is towards Krishna, not towards material thing. Then we know that we are properly going towards our bhakti. Otherwise, we should try to improve. We should ask our guru or our Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, that what I should do now. And we should open to some devotees, who is little more senior to you, and we should open your heart that I still have that kind of desire, how I can get it. If we just keep to ourselves, then we will never improve actually. So we should have something, that's why in Bhagavad Gita shlok comes, that we should exchange our thinking, that our problems to other person, we should discuss with each other. We should take prasadam, we should give him prasadam, take prasadam from him, give him gift, take the gift from him. So this kind of exchanges between the devotees are very important. And then we both can, that devotee and also we ourselves can progress that way. Otherwise, if you keep, I will just do my bhakti, I will not listen to anybody else, I will not go to any other devotee, ask him anything, So that way is not the proper bhakti. Proper bhakti is you have to open your heart to senior devotee and explain to him your problems. And after that, then if he gives solution, then we have to follow his instructions. We have to follow instructions of Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and then we can definitely progress. So anybody has any questions, comments, I will just end here. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. You were speaking about the jiva's soul and its original state being pure.
Yes.
And then it gets contaminated. The contamination,
the
layers of contamination attached to the subtle body or to the actual
actual soul. The subtle body, soul is the part of subtle body. Soul has three parts. Our soul, the subtle body has the soul, and then this false ego and the intelligence mind. So these things goes.
So when the soul goes back to the subtle body and goes also?
Subtle body goes, our subtle body only goes, and then we get the karyavahak body, which is functional body. So when we go to this upper planetary system, Krishna gives us some kind of body. That's why when we go even to like suppose we are not devotee, we are doing all bad things. If we go to the Patala, then who suffers, like people give in the hips, ribs, or put us in boiling water. They don't put the subtle body, you cannot see it, So they give us, Krishna give us some kind of body, and that body gets punishment. So body is there. Yeah, known as Karyavahik body, the functioning body. Yeah. So that's our subtle body goes there, and that body suffers. So when we walk, we have to walk miles and miles, like with Yamduts, when they take him, if we do all the bad things, when Yamdut takes it, they go behind us and they say, go more faster, in the hot sand, for miles together. And we get all the blisters on the feet. So whose feet blisters comes not in the subtle body? There is a body, functioning body, and that gets some blisters. Yeah. Anyone else have any question? Yes, Prabhu.
You said like Saija Mukti, other than Saija Mukti, there are 4 other Mukti. So those are like different aspects, like different ways of worshiping. So is there any level or they're all one and the same?
No, I did not. Can you just say?
Like Samakya Mukti,
Samik Mukti, Saija Mukti, yeah. Yeah.
4. These 4, are there any levels? Like this is best or
Yeah, there.
all of the
Yeah, no, there are levels. Like if you live in the same loka, Vishnu, but Lord is in his palace and all the devotees are with him, so you are in the same loka, doesn't matter if you are in the corner. What is the use? So that's not bad. Then if you have the money like Lord, opulences like Lord, so those opulences, what good it is, No, so the best thing is samipya. You live, that's the best. You live with Krishna, very close to Krishna. So that is the top. Mukti. Yes, Prabhu.
What is the location of the Vijay?
Location of what?
Vijay.
Virja River. Virja River is between the material world and spiritual world. The Dhruvalok, yeah, I was talking Hollister. It is after the Satyalok, Brahmalok or Satyalok is after that. And then, so when Lord Vishnu lies in that, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu lies there, Garbhodak ocean. So in that Garbhodaksha ocean is one portion in the Virja River there. So Virja River, so when the whole thing comes, all the Jiva souls comes out, when he exhales, all the universes come out from the body and all the Jivas comes, at that time, we have to decide, whether we want to go to spiritual world or we want to come to this material world to enjoy. And at that time, actually, we did the mistake, that let me go to material world and try to enjoy again here. If at that time we could have thought, properly, then let me go and enjoy permanently with Krishna and serve him there. So that was our mistake, and then we are suffering for so many millions and billions of years. I do not know how long I'm here in this material world and how long I will live. We don't know. So that is the place of Virja River. And we have to see, we want to come this or other side, go to other side.
So next question, Mother Ganga,
No. Mother Ganges came from the spiritual world actually. And when Vaman Dev actually put the third feet, because he gave promise of 3 steps, the third step, he pierced even the spiritual world. Because spiritual world also is covering, spiritual world. Actually, this material world is all the spiritual world is spread all around actually. It's not like something distinction, It's very hard to understand that theory, but we are just like spiritual world is everywhere. It's not like some particular place that, okay, after this spiritual world will come. It's all around. So that's why there are so many universes, millions and millions of universes. It's not just one Brahma. There are millions of Brahmas also, millions of universes also. So spiritual world is all around them. So it's very hard to see geographically, that after this comes, after this comes. It's not like that. Yeah. Anything else want to discuss? All right, then we can. If they have any question.
Mother Shubha, is there anyone?
I don't see any hands up. If anybody has any questions on Zoom, please just unmute yourself and go ahead. No, I don't see any hands up.
Okay.
All right, then we will end here. पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।